Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals. They're about to make that very clear.
Well, dude, Jared, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm glad we were able to work this out.
Yeah, it was crazy how we reconnected.
Yeah, very randomly.
Josh's bar. I went up to. Actually, before I start, we never know how to start like these podcasts, like because I don't think we ever do an intro, do we?
No intro.
We just kind of jump
bullshitting from the get go.
We might as well introduce.
Go right
Yeah,
right into it, dude. Fuck it, let's just do it. Mike, you want to do it? Or you want me to do it?
No, you do it, dog. Welcome to this video episode.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast where we like to normalize checking on your homies. I don't even know what episode. This is episode 140?
140.
Is it? Oh, shit.
Mhm.
Okay. Episode 140. I'm Mike, and Mike is one of the screens here. We have an awesome guest today. We have a boy Jared from the band Chlorine. And we actually go back kind of a ways.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is cool.
shit, what has it been? 8 to 10 years that we met? Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. And I love that it was a Robinanda connection.
The best ones always are.
Was that what it was? It was Rob?
Mm-hmm. And I feel like if it's any of your homies listening or watching this, then they already know. But if you don't know, Robinanda's the man. Another long time friend of mine. And used to help me book tours and manage older bands that I was in. And I made a lot of good connections through him, and one being Mike.
Yeah, Rob's the man. It was one of those things where, like, I'm pretty sure he called me just like, hey, my friends need a place to stay. Because you guys were already booked out. I think you guys played the Mission Tobacco Lounge, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was on that tour.
So, and it was just kind of like a no-brainer. I was like, yeah, you can stay with me, and
I think we actually stayed with your parents on that run. Yeah,
dude,
who are also the best.
Did they make you guys chilaquiles? Do you remember?
I think
Mexican nachos.
Maybe the next day we got chilaquiles. I actually had those for breakfast yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I do recall something like that going down. I remember going into their little den room, and it was like a big boys slumber party. We all just like rolled out sleeping mats and put on Goosebumps, and we were watching Goosebumps and giggling for like 4 hours.
That's awesome.
Was it the 90s Goosebumps or the current movies that came out? Like
Old
Jack
school.
Black?
Old school only.
I'm afraid to watch the Jack Black ones.
Yeah. Remakes are tough.
They're not too bad.
Speaking of remakes, have you guys heard about Joker 2? It's not a remake, but part 2.
I heard the reviews are awful.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying it's trash.
Yeah.
I went in. I was like very hopeful because I seen two like pretty like kind of vaguely okay reviews. Kind of like, yeah, like they really took a swing at this. Something different. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's cool. And then like the other one was like, or something like, I guess it wasn't that positive. Something about like if you didn't like the last one, then maybe you'll like this one. Or something like that. Like it was like a weird. But then everything after that was like completely like shitting on it and like disappointment.
And once something starts getting traction for being bad or good on the internet, everybody's gonna jump on board, and it's just going to get plummeted.
Yeah, I was bummed. I'm still gonna see it, but like I'm not. I'm like all my excitement is kind of gone, just because I've heard about why it's not good, and I'm like, oh, like I love musicals, love them, but I heard that like the music almost takes you out of it as opposed to like being something that adds to like the story. It's almost like
Right.
a pause in the story, which I hate.
Yeah. I don't know. Too many cash grabs to weed through. It's hard. It's hard to
Yeah,
tell what's good or not.
yeah, and I mean, and you have to make a part two to that, you know.
Right. Yeah, you absolutely do. It's weird with stuff like that. It's like, how many original ideas do you think are really out there anymore? Like, genuinely. I mean, I see good stuff pop up every once in a while, but it still is like a rehash of something.
Yeah, or it's just like I don't even want to say like some of the stuff is like not even it's like not that good, but it's I don't know. It's just I think people just if they're gonna spend all that money like to make something, they just go for like the safe route, just like the proven properties or proven stories. I feel like there's like not much reward for like risking a whole like something new.
Right.
Everything has to be like you can't just like have a movie. It has to like have like I don't know what's it called. Uh,
It has to already have a fan base before the movies
yeah,
Yeah, like a
come out. Yeah,
foundation. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. They
I
were
know what you
saying
mean.
that with this new Joker film, normally they'll do like kind of like screenings and stuff so they can see if audiences like the movies, and then they can kind of tailor the audience reaction to how they do the final cuts of the film. And from what I understand on this one, they were like, nobody gets to see this until it's out. So we're just gonna fucking run with it, and if people like it, cool. And I think that they
Oh,
just kind of
weird.
shot themselves in the foot with that one. So
I don't know if it's on my end, but if you can turn up yours at all, Mike.
mine.
Yeah, a little
hear that,
quiet in
Jason?
my ears.
All right, is that better?
My
Yeah,
volume's out.
that's a little better.
Sorry guys, my sunglasses that were lost.
Fuck yeah.
They're lost in the void. Apparently, I left them at my friend Jason's house.
Dang, you got them back. I just lost a pair. When you find a good pair, it's a rare thing. I'm
Okay.
still heartbroken over it. It's been like 3 months.
Yeah. Jordan wanted me to make sure that Mike knew that she returned these to me.
Oh,
Wow,
the
that's
ones that
nice.
she stole because she didn't want her boyfriend wearing Lokes at the time. I remember.
I think she it was guilty. She felt guilty.
Yeah, the guilt finally got to her because her and I shared a moment while you were a little inebriated on your birthday party, and we were
Yeah.
just both looking at you like, look at this guy, he's growing up so much.
I, I celebrated pretty hard on my birthday.
Which birthday did you just have?
I had my 41st.
41st. Wow. I don't know if I said it or not, but happy birthday.
Thank you.
Mine is tomorrow.
Is it?
It
No way.
is.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Happy birthday.
October.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday. What are you
Thanks.
doing?
Oh man, these days I don't do much. I think we're gonna go to these little like hot springs and chill out and not
Sick.
do anything, which will be really nice to have a little like R&R right before tour because we leave for
Yeah.
tour in two days, I think. So
Sick.
Dude, so yeah,
That's
let's
really
kind
sick.
of let's jump into that a little bit. So um you guys were kind of talking about history about how you guys met through Rob. Um and then you guys basically reconnected when Mike was up in town for that wedding, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um
we had my girlfriend and I had just gone and seen Sum 41, I believe. They were just in town.
mhm.
Or no, I take it back. It was Descendants. That's right.
Descendants. Yeah.
Because that's yeah. And we decided to stop into my friend's bar on the way home, and we go in and we're talking to him, and I bring up Descendants, and Mike's in at the bar, and he goes, "Oh, Descendants were in town tonight." We're not even registering that it's each other
Yeah.
yet. And it was like 5 minutes maybe, and then we were just like, wait a minute, holy shit, what? And we had just light bulb moment, but we haven't seen each other in years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just such a crazy coincidence.
And I don't think Josh even knew that we knew each other.
Maybe not. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. And Josh also has been a longtime friend, and yeah, has helped out with a bunch of chlorine stuff. And yeah, he's just the sweetest, obviously.
Sick. That's such a random occurrence to meet at a bar talking
I
about
love
punk
when it
rock.
happens like that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for
Uh,
anyone who doesn't know, Josh is an NBR guitar player slash generous bartender.
yeah, slash ex chlorine guitarist. He played with us for about a week
Really?
until until he realized he did not have time to be in an eighth band or whatever he was in at that time.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
happens.
I've never done that. I've never been like the multiple band guy. Like I barely have time to do anything outside of this one. Like I don't know how people do multiple bands.
I was that way for a very long time, and then at one point I was in three bands. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
guess it
The
just
best
happens.
the best way to do it though is to just keep kind of like the same guys in the other bands
Right.
also, so that they don't really like conflict
You
with
just
each other.
interchange one for different
Yeah.
practices.
Yeah, what show are we playing? Oh, dude, that what a sick idea! Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Yeah.
I still think MBR had the best idea. We just thought of it and executed it way too late for it to really benefit us. But we decided to like just have a cover band that was its own identity, its own name. That way we could just drive in straight lines to where we needed to go without breaking any radius clauses. And
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Like you guys playing in the cover band.
yeah, we
Kind
are
of
the
like
cover band.
Newfound Glory with the International Superheroes of
Yeah,
Hardcore.
yeah,
I guess that wasn't really a cover band, but same idea, some
yeah,
incognito shit.
yeah. It's just, I mean, smart, might as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, but
Damn. Too late.
it's too late, man. It's too late.
It's never too late, dude.
Well, now everybody knows the idea, so somebody's gonna do it.
They
But
should.
they don't. But they don't know the name, so it's fine. You know. Dude. So I kind of want to talk about like your music history a bit. So before Chlorine, you were playing in another band. I'm assuming before this, when you guys had first met through Rob.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I've been playing in bands since I was 12 years old, and honestly, haven't really taken a break. Like, been in like we were pretty serious 12-year-olds. Like
Yeah.
Dude.
everything, just doing it to the nines. And yeah, played in a band in high school that was different. Right when I turned about 18, I started a band called Head Injuries, based out of Colorado, and I did that band for, oh man, probably about 6 or 7 years. We did that, and just like touring relentlessly. Like, second we all got out of high school, it was like touring pretty much constantly. Um, and that's kind of where Rob Ananda came into play and was kind of helping us set up tours. You know, he had been doing it already forever, and he had known us since we were in like freshman year of high school.
Right.
And always was super helpful. So he was like, whatever you need, I got you. Let's get you on the road. Let's get you to meet some of the homies and see what you can do. And granted, like, those days of touring were like pretty ruthless and no money whatsoever. I don't honestly have no idea how we did as many shows as we did, but they were great. And we got to do a bunch of cool stuff, especially being that young, because it's like, looking back now and me seeing younger bands, like, it makes me super happy, but I'm also like, fuck, I didn't know anything. Like, I had so much to learn, you know?
Same.
And yeah, using those tools now that I know better about a lot of things, is extremely helpful. But yeah, did that band for a long time, and after we split up, moved to Portland and started Chlorine a couple of years after that.
What what came what came first, or did it kind of come together? Did you get on guitar and then decide you wanted to play and sing, or have you always sang?
No, I mean, so my dad was a little bit of a musician. He played keyboards and a little bit of guitar, enough to, teach me Deep Purple
Mhm.
and a few different things on keyboard. But honestly, it started with drums. I was playing drums initially, got really into that, um, but it was just like too much work, and I liked writing the songs and being the drummer. I felt like that just it didn't click as well as I wanted it to, so just figured out guitar, just started taking that seriously, and that really looked like because I was like dirt poor growing up, so my parents couldn't afford like guitar lessons or anything. So it was like my friends who could would come home after guitar practice or lessons and teach me just what they learned,
Sick.
and it's like just like that from there. But yeah, I guess that was kind of it. Just songwriting came first and foremost.
So, yeah, that's a good. That's a good homie.
Yeah, definitely. I had two, and I'd like bounce between their houses, and like one was like teaching me Coheed and Cambria riffs, and the other one was knew all the Green Day stuff. So
Sick.
That's sick. That's sick. And so your dad, did your dad play in anything when he was younger, or was he just mostly like I just jam and kick it? Or
he did. He played in a band when he was in high school.
cool.
Yeah, he liked to talk about that pretty often. um, and yeah, definitely learned a lot about music from him for sure. But I still think there's a disconnect still when he kind of saw how serious I was really taking it. He was kind of like,
Mhm.
"Oh man, it should just be for fun. You're really taking this to the next level and not pursuing college or
Yeah.
anything." But I mean, honestly, he could have been way harder. He was pretty helpful. He bought me my first guitar, so grateful for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't have
It's
that
a
anymore. You guys hang on to your early instruments? You guys have any of that
no,
stuff still?
dude. I'm no. I don't.
Do you
I
still
don't
have
even know
your?
what happened. I
Yeah,
still
you
have.
never really do. They just kind of disappear most of the time. I feel
Yeah. Well, my
it's
first
like you
guitar
let
was a
friends
Fender
borrow them.
Squire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For all I know, I'd like to think maybe I sold it for money, but I probably didn't.
Probably just let a
I'm
friend
fine.
borrow it and it's probably in the storage locker somewhere.
Yeah, I have no idea where I had a sick black and white Fender Squire, like everyone had. I still have my Gibson SG, Michael. Yes, That one I'm not getting rid of.
I feel like for me,
Yeah,
I my first guitars I like traded in to like Sam Ash or Guitar Center or something like that, and just use that to buy something else or like towards something else. So I don't have any
that
of
makes
that
sense.
original stuff.
At
Yeah,
one
I
point, I
yeah.
definitely stopped selling gear though, or like getting rid of it, unless I absolutely needed to. But I mean, even this Explorer I have on the wall behind me is what I played in Head Injuries, and yeah, I've had that guitar for 10 years now, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna give it up.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's sick,
Yeah, I love
You
it.
hear that, Michael? Loyalty to guitar.
dude. I've found the ones that I love so far. I do want an
Let's see
Explorer though,
when.
so it's on
Let's
the
see, it was
list.
like you'd buy a guitar, trade it in, buy a guitar, trade it in, buy a guitar, sell it.
No love.
I was just trying to figure out what I like to play and what I didn't like to play, and like yeah,
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I bounce around, man. I definitely do, and especially with like Chlorine being a little bit of a different sound than more of the straightforward pop punk stuff I'd done in the past. It leaves room for a lot of experimentation and like learning more about guitars. Because I mean, honestly, these days I'll buy a guitar and I'll just kind of gut it and like redo it exactly how I want.
yeah.
I'm not a big knob guy. I hate a lot of knobs. I mean, I'm just kind of flailing around up there on stage, and the less room for like mess ups, the
Yeah.
better. I take out the pickup switch and take out all the knobs. All I need is volume. I can do the rest
So,
on the pedals. Like I don't really need all that on the guitar. As long as the foundation is solid, I'm good.
and I was gonna ask you about the sound because I knew you from Head Injury, which is punk rock, and I know you have like a pretty extensive punk rock history. Was because Chlorine, you guys have it. You guys out. You're titled as grunge pop.
Mm-hmm.
Is that have you always kind of been into grunge as well, or what? or was it just something you want something different, or was that just what was coming out when you were writing?
I mean, all those questions, the answer is yes and no. Yeah, it's grunge. Definitely, always been into it. I mean, I'm young enough to where I all that was done.
Yeah,
For the most part. When I was growing up, pop punk was what was popular when I was growing
yeah,
up. So I viewed it differently, and that was definitely like punk rock was, first love for me and for so many other musicians. Um, but the grunge thing just seemed like a almost like untapped resource to bring into the pop punk world because say pop punk way too many times, but it's as a subgenre of its own, it has so many different subgenres, and people have
yeah.
done so much with it. I just didn't feel like I was hearing it done the way I thought it could be done, blending in Smashing Pumpkins and Soundgarden and
Mm-hmm.
Deftones and just anything on the heavier side there, without it being truly heavy or metal, you know. Um, and I mean, yeah, I don't know. It all kind of fell into place at the same time. Did my research and I deep dove into grunge heavily before I did this project and like found out everything I could because when I get into something, I'm just an absolute nerd about it and try to find out as much as I can. And yeah, I mean, I think it'd be fair to say there's a lot of Smashing Pumpkin songs that are kind of pop punky, anyways. Like some of those
Yeah,
riffs are like borderline there, anyways.
yeah,
So I was like, what would it sound like if it just pushed that a little bit further? And now it just opened up a whole different thing for me, which has been really cool.
When you
that's
were
cool, man.
doing that deep dive into grunge, what were some of like those deep cut bands that you found that were like, did I fuck with this heavy?
I mean, so yeah, there's a lot. A Green River for sure, because that's like mid late '80s kind of Seattle grunge, and it was a bunch of members from I think Mudhoney and Pearl Jam, um,
Sick.
kind of before they were doing that. Um, Hedemizer for sure, a little bit more alternative, a little bit less grungy, but like Elliott Smith's old band. Um, yeah, there's a ton, and more so doing deep dives on some of the artists that I knew their quintessential albums, but never really listened to, you know, the really old early Soundgarden stuff or anything like that. And yeah, there's so much good in there.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too because I remember, what was it? I think during the pandemic, I went back and I went. I was just trying to find songs for karaoke, and I went back and listened to some of the old Pearl Jam stuff,
Mm.
and I kind of forgot how like I was like there's punk in this. Like this is,
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
and they were all from that same kind of world. I mean, freaking Eddie Vedder's on a Bad Religion album, right? Is it Bad Religion or is it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a pretty true punk rocker back in the day. You can hear it in all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear like the '80s metal influence. You can hear the '80s punk influence. Like it's all there. And I mean, that first Nirvana record is basically just a punk record.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it all is cut from the same cloth. And I just feel like it's ever evolving for me though, because that was kind of the idea with Chlorine. I felt kind of boxed in the past. I did it to myself, not that I needed to be, but when I wanted it to be just straightforward punk rock, it was kind of limiting. So now Chlorine is just going to be a project that's going to evolve and change. And now I'm kind of on deep dives into other genres and old electronic music, which I is not something I grew up on at all, but kind of doing a little bit more deep dives into that and involving that in too. So
Awesome.
it's fun, yeah. Just pushing myself all the time.
Dude, and now's the time because we're back to getting into an era where there's no more rules anymore. Like you could
Right?
just do
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you want, and it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like music's at a really interesting, weird point right now, but like in a good way.
Yeah,
Everybody is really just doing whatever the hell they want, and sometimes it
yeah,
works, and sometimes it doesn't.
yeah.
Everything is so accessible. So you're hearing, you know, which is cool. You get to hear like bands get to play with sounds because they're like being able to you can deep dive into like music from like genres that I don't know. Like I'm stumbling over this. The easy thing I want to say is it's so much easier to find music as opposed to like having to like look through like CD or album booklets and sleeves to try to find bands. Now you can just do a search on a genre and then it's all there. It's all there
Yeah,
for you.
I take it for granted every day, and I don't even care that I did because I did the work back in the day
Same,
to
dude.
find
Same.
music. Dude, I would sit there all summer, my little cassette player. You have to like break a little piece out of it so you
Yeah,
can
the
like
top.
record off the
Yep.
radio or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, take that out and then just sit there all day. And anytime a song that I like come on, just make a little shitty mixtape.
Mike and I are talking about like the ones where you have like the DJ still in the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
introducing the song.
God, I wish
Comes
I
in.
still had some of those. I don't even think I have a cassette player to be honest, but
Yeah, same.
I do have some weird stuff. I've just moved into this house recently, like in the past month, but this is where Chlorine practices and works on stuff and where I record stuff. And I've also got like my analog video set up. So I've got like a old vintage TV and a VCR, and that all like runs through my system. So I do a lot of like the Chlorine graphics by recording onto VHS first and then looping it through and doing all the editing, which is really fun.
Dude,
And it's nice
that's
having
cool.
space for it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It takes
Wow.
me back.
Yeah, we're trying to with Easy Out. We're trying to build like obviously 90s skate punk. It's like nobody's reinventing the wheel in that, but it's just so fun.
It's so fun. And I think
So
that night I saw you, I think I like even sent you some stuff because I was like, I just kind of need an outlet for the fast pop punk stuff. And I'm still writing it. It's still going onto a hard drive somewhere and just sitting there. But gotta have that outlet.
yeah, it doesn't. It never goes away.
No,
Like
never.
it never goes away. I never thought. I mean, I've always held on to punk rock and stuff, and MBR got harder, and it's fine. I like what it's become and what it is, but like when there's not opportunities to write like just fast like punk music again, it was it's just like that feeling never goes away.
No, it's the
I
best.
love it.
And it's cool to see newer bands like that resurging even right now. Some
Yeah.
Fat Record style bands popping up. Or bands like Cigar coming back after years and years of not writing anything and then just coming out with banger albums. Yeah, never goes away. Dude, I knew I was going to want to back up one of these. Shit, always got it. There's a good flavor here. Ginger lime mule. You guys had this one? It's a good one.
Have you, Mike?
Mm-mm. Give me 1 second. You guys can keep talking, but I'm gonna deal with these dogs. I keep muting myself because they keep barking. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good.
I have my water.
You
I
do
have
any
my-
of the liquid IVs or any of that kind of stuff?
No, I mean we do like we do liquid death,
Yeah.
but I mean if I'm home, it's just purified water.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy.
Generally how I am, but I like having bubbles on deck.
Yeah,
I'm a bubble guy.
dude, same. I've come a long way with bubbles. I reacted really poorly once on tour in Europe because that's all they had, and like I remember like just like pleading with like the sound like the stage people because they were like telling us like how many waters do you need, bubbles, no bubbles. We're like no bubbles please. I was like I don't we don't need them to be cold, but just just no bubbles please, and then we get like warm
bubbles.
warm bubbles, dude. I was like, oh, I was so bummed out. But dude,
Especially
now
if that's
I love
all
it.
you have to bring on stage, that sucks.
Yeah. It's like I'm not chugging this.
Yeah.
So, but I've come a long way. I love it now. I love Michael.
I'm
We're
proud of
here
you.
now. Um,
I'm assuming you're talking about your European meltdown with sparkling water. Your
Something
rock
like
star
that.
moment.
it was. I don't know what happened. I just. It's like I got upset and started throwing things, but
I,
um, but we're
I
good
want to hear
now.
about these. I want to hear about these dogs. What kind of dogs you got over there?
Did I have a? I have one who is he's a mix, but he basically looks like a golden retriever, but 30 pounds. Like
Okay,
he's just basically like it's like the best way to explain it. He just looks like a tiny ass golden retriever.
I
Yeah.
love it.
And then I have an 11-month-old boxer mix who just looks like a tiny boxer because like all her looks are boxer, but she's like half the size of what she should be,
Weird. Where are you
which is
finding
weird.
these
She just looks like a mini
small
boxer.
dogs?
She's insane because she's a puppy and she's just crazy. So
Oh, I
once they
gotcha.
get going, they just start barking up a storm all in the back and they're running around trying to jump over the 6 foot fence. It's yeah,
Oh man.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I just have the one dog, so nobody's here to rile him up.
Yeah.
But we live right next to a big dog park now.
Mm.
And he's stoked, so he still gets his social interactions in pretty much daily.
That's
What kind of
cool.
dog you got?
I have a blue nose pit bull named Diego.
Cool.
Yeah, I've had him since he was like 6 weeks old. Rescued him out of a dumpster. Yeah,
Dang.
somebody tossed the whole litter of puppies into a dumpster in Stockton, California, and one of my friend's parents found the whole litter, and she hit me up and she's like, "Hey, I'm going out to rescue two of these pups. Do you want one? I know you were talking about getting a dog." And now it's been 8 years, and he's just the best dog ever.
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool. That's so. I mean, I don't know. Like I hear shit like that. I'm like, how? I was like,
Dude,
you
it's
can't like,
unbelievable.
you
That
can't
shit
just
happens
like,
every day, dude. It's
yeah, you
crazy.
can't just like park it in like a convenient lot and be like, hey, free puppies. I don't know.
Right? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
people are lazy, and that's just yeah, it sucks. But luckily, this one has a happy ending. All of them got homes.
That's
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you said you found him in a dumpster, I thought it was going to be like, I went to throw my trash away and I just heard something rustling. So
Yeah.
No, that would have been crazy. Honestly, I don't even know how they found them, but
yeah,
yeah, some dumpster behind it, like a restaurant or something like that.
I
Just
could
insane.
I could never imagine. Like even so, I actually talked about this on like an episode or two ago about like having to rehome my little boxer puppy because she's just it's like a big deal with her training and she doesn't get like proper um she doesn't get consistency between like me and my girl and everybody in the house. It's like she's getting different information from everybody, so she's
Mhm.
not learning, especially with like jumping up and like snapping in people's faces and stuff like that. But so I had posted about like, hey, I'm looking for a good home for her or whatever, and I got hit up by a few people, and honestly, I was just kind of like, well, I don't know, I don't know if well, let me think about it, and I'm just at this point, I'm like, okay, so I'm probably just not gonna give her up. I'm probably just gonna keep her, and because I don't know, I have a hard time just like here, take my dog and go,
Dude, yeah, it's tough. It's I think it's important to like understand like at the end of the day you just want what's best for the dog. And
exactly,
sometimes that like isn't the person who has the dog. Sometimes it's just like I don't have the tools to like give this dog what it needs.
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's also like I think there's something nice about being like I'm gonna stick this out and we're gonna get through it.
yeah,
And like it's hard, yeah. I mean, even raising Diego is tough. I got a trainer um, that I randomly met at a bank, and she was just like, "I have a pit bull. I train pit bulls specifically," and like honestly, it was like 3 months of just going once a week, and after that, it's like fine.
yeah,
And it's more so she taught me how to train him because I didn't know what
Yeah.
the hell I was doing.
hmm
But she kind of filled me in, and man, after that, it was just like it's easy.
yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I've
maybe not
kind of always
easy,
been
but
lucky with my past dogs because it was just me and the dogs, so it was cool. So
yeah,
now it's just kind of like learning what to do and what not to do, and yeah,
I feel that.
it's a process for sure. But
Yeah, no doubt.
That's why I don't own a raccoon. I can't give it the life it deserves. So
That's
is
it,
is
man.
that why?
If I could, I'd have a bunch of raccoons. Love those guys.
it's my dream. Yeah, for those though, I know what they are, and they would tear my shit apart, right? But you got if I had it as a puppy or a puppy, if I had it as a,
What do they
if I had
call a
it,
baby raccoon?
I don't even know. I call them
Cub?
baby raccoons,
Yeah.
just cuties. I don't know,
Yeah.
but if I had like the space and the time, I'd have I would own a raccoon, but I don't have any of those things right now, so I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want to do that to the raccoon.
You still got plenty of life left to get a raccoon. I'm
I'm
sure they gotta have like a sanctuary or something where they rehabilitate animals like that. You can go help out there, live vicariously.
dude. I've thought about because there's one up in like my family every year like for Christmas we go and stay in like a basically like a mini hotel thing lodge. I don't know
Hmm.
what it's called. And there is a it's not a raccoon rescue. It's just like an animal rescue place in the mountains there. And they usually like without the guys like without fail we're gonna have raccoons. He's like just the mom always gets hit or something happens, and we always have these baby raccoons. And so yeah, they usually have them from like March until basically December. So I always want to go, but every time I've tried, I feel like something's always come up. Or the one time I called, they like didn't have any raccoons. They're like, "We have other animals here." I was like, "I don't give a shit."
Have we ever talked
That's your
about?
favorite animal? I'm assuming.
Raccoon, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Did we ever? Have we ever discussed like what was that defining moment where you decided like the raccoons are the best animal on the planet, and I love this animal, and I don't want anything else?
Yeah, when I was at that for Christmas, we'd gone and there was they had like three baby raccoons and they had them in a pen and and it was like in the downtown area like, in Idlewild. And so like there's like a group of people, and then they're like, "Does anybody want to go in and play with them?" And it's like these three baby raccoons just like rolling around, wrestling with each other. And like I don't think anyone went in, but right away I was like, "I'll go." Like, yeah, I'll go. So like I went in there, I was like playing with them, and one grabbed
You
my
guys,
finger with his little hand.
you guys thumb
Oh man,
wrestled.
that was it.
No, it's just he grabbed my hand, dude, not my finger, and I think that was it.
Man,
But they were just so fun. They looked like yeah, they were like literally just like wrestling, like rolling on each other. Looked like they're like throwing each other, kind of. I don't know.
it's a good animal.
Yeah,
That's all there
they
is to it.
yeah they break into shit. Like they can survive in any kind of weather, any climate. Like you'll see them in Florida, and you'll see them like in snow. You know,
True.
they're
That's it.
vicious.
They got it all.
Yeah, everything, man.
I was
Yeah.
I was impressed with I'd sent a video to Mike, what, like a week ago or something like that, of a raccoon taking on, it was like 4 or 5 like coyotes, and
Yeah.
the raccoon won the fight. And I was like,
Mhm.
this is all right. I'm impressed with this. That and the one
Dude,
where the
they're for
raccoon
real.
fell like 200 feet out of
Oh
the
my
air,
gosh.
just onto the ground out of nowhere. It just kind of gets up and walks it off. I was
Yeah.
impressed by that too.
Yeah, they're gnarly.
Anyways, enough about raccoons and how awesome they are. So,
Gonna need a
so
whole
you're,
nother episode.
I know, yeah. It's funny because I think people aren't ready when they find out I like them, and they think it's just like a superficial, just like that they're cute or whatever.
Hmm.
But I'm like,
No,
no,
you're
dude,
for real.
I can go into detail. But yeah. So this when this airs, it'll be Friday. Where will you guys
Okay.
be on Friday?
On Friday, we are going to be in San Francisco, California. Yeah. We're
Nice.
playing. I said it already, but Neck of the Woods with a couple really great bands from that area called Present and Giveaway. Um,
Cool.
both just killer bands out of the Bay Area. So really glad we were able to make that happen. Um, yeah, there's another band called Chain playing as well, who's also dope. Don't want to leave them out. But yeah, that will be Friday. So if you're watching this on Friday, that's today. Yeah.
And
Want.
and are you guys going out with another band, or is it just you guys?
So it's gonna be us for the well, it'll be us for the whole tour, and then we've got our friends that play in a band called Gem out of Phoenix, Arizona. They're hopping on for about 5 shows right in the middle of the tour,
Nice. That's
Yeah.
rad.
which is cool because it's just like it's hard to figure out that routing when it's two bands from opposite ends. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're awesome. They're such a cool, just rock band. Love
Yeah.
them. So really glad they're gonna hop on for a few of the shows and definitely helped get some of these shows set up as well. So
Yeah.
big shout
Sick.
out to them for sure.
And
And the word.
when it comes to Chlorine, so you guys had like put out your first couple songs like what 2021 was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so when and this is kind of like a random question, but when you went from Colorado to Washington, what was that process of like, all right, I'm in a new place. Now I need to find some dudes to jam with, and I'm going to start a band in this new spot.
Um, yeah. So I think I was pretty burnout from the road when I left Colorado.
Mhm.
Like I said, there was a lot of touring nonstop. So I kind of took a couple of years off. I was still writing in between, but I didn't really have a vision quite yet. And then it just kind of clicked one day, and I figured out what I wanted Chlorine to be, and came up with the name and kind of the vision. Started writing songs for it, and then before I picked anybody to be part of the band, I went out and recorded the first 4 songs. So I had hit
Oh,
up
cool.
Alan Day from 4 Year Strong, and I hadn't spoke to him before. Just found his email, shot him an email out of the blue, and just said, "Hey man, this is me. This is my idea for a band. Is this something you want to be like part of when on a production level?" And he was like, literally next morning, emails me back. He's like, "Here's my number. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Sounds cool." We got on the phone and like talked for like 2 hours straight and just nerded out about music. And we're just like, yeah, this feels like a good fit. But this is during COVID. This is like height of COVID that we're figuring all this out. So we started pre-production over Zoom, and then yeah, early 2021, I flew out and recorded the first EP with Alan in a 200-year-old abandoned church in the middle of Massachusetts. And Jake Masuko, the drummer to 4 Year Strong, did the studio drums for it as well.
Sick.
And yeah, luckily we just hit it off immediately. They're like the nicest dudes ever, so it's easy. And Alan's just such a great songwriter, um, and I think we agree on a lot of kinds of music, so it felt effortless. And yeah, once it was done and got back to Portland, I feel like that was kind of like an easy sell, just
Mhm.
being like, Here's what I've done. Here's who I did it with." It all kind of fell into place. The drummer who plays for Chlorine, Obi, has been a friend of mine for years. I knew he was a great drummer. It took very little coercing. I just called him. He's like, "Come over, let's talk about it." He was in. Um, I asked Josh, and who is also a homie, which you can actually kind of see him in the first music video. He was in it. Um, but when we were shooting the first music video, um, I had a friend, Matt Fitzpatrick, if you know him, come up from San Diego, who used to play in My Iron Lung.
Oh,
And
great.
yeah, he does really great video work. And he came up and was shooting the video for us and introduced me to one of his friends in Portland who was helping shoot the video, and that is now our guitarist.
See.
Just random mutual
Sick.
friend who was just part of the
Yeah.
process. And yeah, I mean, it just kind of pieced together with friends and people that saw the same vision. They saw
Mhm.
like at least what I was trying to kick off. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it took a little bit of time, but it really kind of fell into place, and it's just been us four since then. And yeah, we're all just having a good time. So there's no point in
That's
stopping.
rad. And I think I said Washington earlier, but so when you moved from Colorado, did you already know people out there, or was this just like a I'm gonna move
No,
and
dude,
that's that?
it was like a spur of the moment. I had been to Portland on tour before, but like I knew one dude when I moved out here, and he helped me get like my first job out here. And then it just kind of like snowballed. You know, you just go to shows and meet people, and also worked in the service industry forever. So just like you meet a lot of people through that.
Yeah.
And yeah, um, yeah, just kind of built a little bit of a life here, which has been cool, and still like having all my friends back home too. So it's always a
Yeah.
celebration anytime we get to go through there. I got to show my whole band, like my hometown in Fort Collins, Colorado, on the last tour. Take them to the blasting room and give them the tour through there.
Dude, I've
Um,
never been, dude.
oh, it's great, man. It's great. Let's go sometime.
Take me there.
Yeah, I did. My old band did an album at Blasting Room years ago, and it was a hell of an experience. It was really cool.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm sure at some point you kind of go into work mode and you're like, okay, but it's like I've always tried. I've always tried to like envision what it'd be like to be in the room with like with those dudes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's interesting. I've known Bill Stevenson since I was like a kid as well, because he lived in Fort Collins too,
oh, that's
and was
right.
just like part of stuff. And I mean, you know, I don't need to tell you, but he's just like he's one of the most unique people ever.
Yeah.
Um, got to see him recently on a trip back home, and we did some stuff with Descendants. It's really cool.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's, that's awesome. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's never lost on me either. It's like anytime being around those guys, I'm just like, this is kind of fucking nuts. Like, yeah, but
Like a lot of the stuff we get to enjoy probably doesn't happen without them being, you know, a big part of like just punk, but that kind of punk rock. Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. We probably wouldn't be sitting here talking right now if not for them. You know,
yeah,
they're just it's quintessential for sure. And yeah, they're the best. Love that band.
and also speaking of older bands, dude, No Effects last show was yesterday.
I know. Did you see that footage of the decline?
Haven't yet.
They brought up everybody on stage. There's like 30 people playing unplugged guitars on stage with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it looked like a good time. I got to go to one of those final shows as well, which was really cool.
I went flew up to the one in Tacoma.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember talking about that.
Yeah, that, yeah. It's funny. Obviously, there's not everyone's a fan of No Effects, but I like jokingly would say like I was like a No Effects apologist for like
Sure.
my, my different sects of friends and stuff. Funny.
Yeah, there's plenty to apologize for sure.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way, but I'm a sucker for their songs, man. They
Dude.
write great songs.
Yeah. I just like I have certain albums, just out like even albums. Like I'm like, this reminds me of like this was high school detention for me. This was like all I listened to for like 3 years of just high school being in detention, and just they allowed us, you know, we should be doing homework. They allowed us to like have my Discman, and
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
just you know uh, listen to.
Simpler times.
Um, it's crazy. 40. I think they've been around more. I think it's like 41 years, actually, closer to that, right?
I think yeah, they started in like '82. They've been around as long as Metallica.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's been cool to see a bunch of people posting like No Effects memories and things like that. You know, all the like photographers, people in other bands, even like old sound guys, whatever, just throwing up footage that they have throughout all the years of No Effects. And like to me, I wasn't I honestly didn't start getting into NoFX until like more recently. But seeing like the footage of when they were late for the Warped Tour 25 year anniversary, so just a bunch of other bands went up during their set time and just all started playing NoFX songs, and they're
Right.
all just basically filling in for the band because they're not there, but they're still playing NoFX songs. It's
Oh,
sick.
that's funny.
It's like 40
Yeah,
people on
everybody knows
stage.
linoleum.
Yeah. And it's cool to see like punk bands get flowers because I feel like there's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and like some the Ramones and stuff got in. And I think I'd imagine
Yeah, they were
and
in.
like but it's just like it's cool to kind of like now see because those are our that's our Zeppelin. That's our
Right.
like those are our bands, and so it's cool to see. It sucks that they're retiring. I feel like they're gonna come back for something, but
He was pretty adamant about them not. I don't know. But it's like come back for what, Like they've done it all. They've done it all. And I feel like Fat Mike's pretty happy writing the codependent stuff, it seems like. So
yeah,
it's also really cool and different. I don't know if you guys have listened to that, but it's
I don't think
cool.
I've listened to it.
It's very like transplants y.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I love the. I think it was on. There was an interview of Mike basically talking about how hit and he doesn't really get much credit for his producing side, you know,
Right.
and it's kind of crazy to like not think that he would be like when people are like surprised that he does like dude, this guy's written so many albums, catchy albums, like
Yeah.
in a genre that shouldn't have gotten the kind of success that they had that they created like
Yeah, I think that's the thing with a lot of those bigger punk rock bands too. I mean, Tim Armstrong too. He's written
yeah.
songs for like Pink and shit. Like
Oh
he's
fuck, I
written
didn't know that.
massive hits. But I might be. I mean, those credits are up online, so it's not a total ghost right. But yeah, I mean, he's written a lot of that stuff.
That's cool. Well, hopefully the NoFX series get to just live, life. I guess not. Have to worry.
Yeah.
I doubt they have to
Speaking of
worry about
which,
much.
I just realized I'm going to Vegas on this tour. Should probably try to stop by the Punk Rock Museum.
Dude,
I don't know what it's like getting tickets in there or whatever, but be cool to go check it out for sure.
yeah, that's on my to-do list.
Yeah.
I wonder because they always have guest, um, like what would you call them, hosts or whatever that do tours at the Punk Rock Museum, and usually,
Yeah.
they're there for a period of time. So I wonder if there would be a guest in town when you guys are there.
Yeah. I don't know. Should have planned this out. Tours in 2 days. Yeah. Been a busy one.
Well, I mean the NoFX guys are not working right now, so
Maybe.
maybe Mike will stop in.
Let's see. Sorry, I was pulling up you guys' routing for this. So you guys are in Vegas on the 16th,
Yeah.
right?
And what day is the LA one?
LA
The 18th.
is on. Oh
18th?
man, the
October
18th.
18th. Yeah.
Yeah, which I believe is a Saturday. Yeah, it's a Saturday.
Okay.
Did you guys purposely do a day off so you guys can party in Vegas for one day, or?
No. We had a show fall through, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were gonna play at this little DIY spot, but unfortunately, the guy who runs it broke his leg. So he's like, I really can't do a show, guys. So we had to cancel it. But it's okay. It's a good excuse to hang out in LA and see some friends and do some fun stuff, go skateboarding and stuff.
Well, dude, do you I haven't checked my phone at all because I'm also using my phone for my camera. Did we put up any questions or anything? Or?
Mm-mm. I was just looking
Just
at
our
that and I was like, wait,
questions.
did we put up questions?
I started my first day of like seeing clients at my job today, so
Oh wow.
today's a crazy day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
That is crazy.
how's that new job treating you, Mike?
it's it's interesting. It's not bad. I'm working one of my clients. I'm with him at school, and he has autism, and he's a first grader. So with him at school, and then I have a second client that I'm with at the clinic, and he's he might be about the same age, but yeah, it's just a lot, man. I I applaud teachers like having to like it's like herding cats, dude. I'm like these little
Dude,
kids are like
yeah.
not they don't pay attention at all.
Yeah.
But then they have like these like really sweet moments where like like they get excited about like I don't know other things. But anyway, so today's my first day with that.
Today was the absolute first day. Wow. That's crazy. That is a lot.
Yeah, so,
Well, I appreciate you making time to do this still.
yeah, of course, man.
Yeah,
Do we want to get into mental health check?
let's jump into the mental health check.
All right. It feels so weird doing it on screen where I'm like looking straight at you guys. Mental health check is where we like checking weekly, see where we're at mentally. That way things are going well. What's going on in our life that is, keeping us in a good place. Or if things aren't going so well, maybe what is going on in our life that is keeping us in a funk. So, Jared, where you at?
Busy, busy. Probably not making enough time for my mental health. But with that being said, like I mentioned before, I just moved into this new space. And I've created a little space for myself to just, I've got like a little meditation pad in this room. It's like an extra room. It's kind of small, so we didn't really know what to do with it. And I'm like, meditation pad, yoga mat, and have been making the effort this week specifically for the first time in probably a little over a month to actually meditate. And that's everything. I have a completely different day when I do that. Even
Yeah.
just stretching too, it's just like huge. Like if I'm not on it, I feel off for sure. So right now doing good. Feeling excited for the week for sure. Um, yeah, got to make time. Stretch those limbs. Let your mind chill
Yeah,
out for a
man.
second because life is overwhelming.
I need to get more consistent with stretching because it's like frustrating because when I stretch, I feel great. Obviously, like I'm not as tight and stuff. Um, and actually, this weekend on my birthday, one of our buddies, Michael Hora, we call him the K-pop Viking. Um, but he was showing me these different like stretches for your back, lower back specifically. So I feel like I need to get on that.
That's where it's at. The sciatica stuff. Got to keep
Yeah,
that loose. The foam rollers where that really comes in. I got one of those and it changed my life.
yeah. I had a last week. I had a moment where I was getting up from the couch, and you've been sitting a long time. You get up, you get sore, whatever. Then you kind of shake it out. And I got up and I was kind of walking around, but I still felt like my back was like
On the
it like
couch?
was still like in that position. And I was just like work out, man. But yeah,
Yeah, you know it's bad when you get sore from sitting too
yeah.
much.
So I yeah, I need to stretch. But,
Dude, my homie Austin, who used to play guitar in Creative Void, um, I was just on the phone with him earlier today, and he was telling me that I guess he's got like uh, severe disc degeneration in his back right now. So he's like, he can walk for like 10 minutes and then his leg will start to go numb. And then he has to just like sit down and chill. So he lifted something completely wrong and apparently has been lifting things wrong all his life. So now they were like, and he's a construction guy. Like he's always been kind of like manual labor type dude. But he was telling me, he's like, dude, I literally bought a recliner just to hang out in while I'm healing. Like he's just relaxing at home because every time he gets up and walks, he like his leg will just start like going numb. He's like, I'm limping around my house. I look like my dad. So,
Dang.
but
Dang.
yeah, you gotta stretch it out and kind of take care of yourself, man. Because he's younger than us. So,
Yep.
but
Yeah, it's important. We didn't choose the easiest life to go for, you know?
yeah,
And that's okay, but yeah, there's a certain point where you gotta put yourself first. And I'll admit, like, I go through phases. I feel like everybody does, you know? Um, but man, when I'm going through the phases of just taking that extra 15 minutes in the morning, it does not take much. Man, I am a much happier person.
yeah.
Um,
Where are
Michael, where
you at,
you
Mike?
at? Oh,
I think I said it first.
uh, I'm good. I've been, it was fun turning another year older. Um, I think it was like the good exhausting of like seeing a lot of people, and it's like it's awesome. It's like it's rad, but like I'm like super drained, and then I had to be around kids today, so that that was. Oh, and I went to Not Scary Farm last night. Like,
Oh, did you?
yeah, last minute. We finances have been tight, so we we decided that we weren't going to go this year with like the group that we went with last year, and then last minute, um, they like basically it was like my birthday gift and stuff. So they're like, if we got you tickets, will you guys come out? We're like, yeah.
That's
So
rad.
we went to Not Scary Farm.
How was it this year? Was it super packed?
It didn't. It's weird. It didn't feel that packed, but I think it's because we just do the mazes.
Hmm.
Like we don't do the rides. I think if I was like on if I was doing the rides, I feel like I'd have a different experience because some of those lines were like long as hell.
Yeah.
But to go into the mazes, it was like 15, 20 minutes, if that.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not
Yeah,
bad at
we,
all.
we did we did 10 mazes and we were heading home before midnight.
Not bad.
Wow,
Yeah.
not bad at all.
So yeah. But I've been pretty good, I think. I'm trying to trying to get right mentally, especially for this new job. And actually, probably shouldn't say this in here, but I'm like I had interviewed for another job, which is kind of like the dream job, and I think this week I find out either way if I got it or not. So
Wow.
that's a little bit on my mind. So I'm just
Well, if
trying
you don't
not
get a
to.
call, let me know. We'll like cut this whole thing out of the episode before it drops.
I know, I know. My current employers are like, what? Yeah, I know. But other than that, it's good, man. I feel like I'm in a good place because if I wasn't, I feel like things would be hitting me a lot harder. You know, so
Yeah, sometimes that's good to realize. It's like,
mhm.
man, shit might be a little bit tough right now, but like I'm able to actually handle this rather than just
Yeah,
break down. Like, yeah, that means you're in a better place for sure.
yeah, it's been nice. My wife has been a G because I've had I had like a whole thing with the last job that I was working at where like they just basically didn't like I went well it took 3 weeks until I was just like I can't work here anymore, and so I basically had to go almost 4 weeks without work, like as far as like paycheck and stuff. So I had a whole month of like work missing, which is rough.
In this
But
economy,
yeah,
it's tough, man.
yeah, it was a big kick in the dick because you know, but still freshly married, you know, and out
Yeah.
here, and it's like, got this job. I'm like, all right, cool. And then it's like they literally 3 weeks they didn't book me a shift at all. So I was
Wow.
like, I can't. I was like, I can't work here. But anywho, you get past
Well,
that, and you know, this is just making us stronger. So
yeah, it'll end up where it's supposed to be for sure.
yeah, Michael, where you at?
I'm good. I mean, I'm just kind of going through the motions, just kind of coasting right now. So I feel like I'm in a good place. Um, woke up after your birthday, not really hungover, but I woke up congested.
Hmm.
Like all my sinuses were all jacked up. So I don't know if if it's just like a quick little thing, but I always seem to get sick like the week that I have a show. So I'm just trying to like rehab and like get because we're playing Chain the day that this drops with Get the Shot. So should be should be cool. But I'm just hoping that like this nonsense goes away before the show, so I don't have to like bring like a bandana or something with me to like wipe my nose if I need to, because it's just the worst.
You know what you got to do to get rid of it, though, yeah.
Baking soda water.
Yep. Knock that
I
shit
might
out
have
in
to.
2 days.
I might have to try it. I'll try it tonight.
If no, if nothing else, just the whole like swishing around your mouth kills a bunch of that whatever disgusting stuff you have in your mouth. I'd imagine.
Yeah, we won't take away
Not
all
gonna
of it.
hurt.
Okay.
It'll get rid of all that nastiness.
Yeah, it's funny. I was expecting to wake up a lot more hungover the next day after your birthday, but I felt pretty good. Just other than being like, oh man, I can't breathe now. But
You guys have a go-to lozenge? You have one that you stand by?
I usually go for like one of like the either the honey or menthol ones. I'll go like
Mm-hmm.
knockoff brand, but yeah, it actually I have. I'm pretty sure I have like 2 packs of them in the van that just live there for
Yeah, you
whenever.
gotta have them.
Yeah,
I mean, I always do the Fisherman's Friends because they cost like, I don't know, $3, and those shit are so strong. Like
yeah,
if you put two of them in, like your whole everything, it's just like the strongest menthol ever. It's like those, and I definitely have a bunch of packs of Vocal Zone left over from our last UK tour
yeah.
because they sent us with like a care package for each member, and each one had like 10 packs of Vocal Zone in it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that
Uh-uh.
brand,
What is it?
but they make like kind of natural herbal lozenges, and they work really really good. I
And it's called
actually
Vocal Zone.
Vocal Zone, yeah. I actually don't know if they're legal here. I think one of the flavors is not legal here.
Heck, yeah, that means they're
Alleged,
that probably that
That
means
means it's
they're
great for you.
good. Yeah,
yeah. Allegedly, I have them.
I gotta check those out.
that rules. Dude. I'm, I'm not much of a. I like them. Like when I do have them, I remember to take them. But I never think to take throat lozenges ever, even when I need
That's
them.
good.
I don't know.
That's good.
Vocal
Yeah,
I'm like,
Zone, you can get them
I'm
on Amazon.
sensitive with temperature, and like sleeping in the van a lot, like just the cold and the hot and cold and hot just messes me up.
yeah,
But usually I recover quickly, thankfully.
dude, baking soda water, man,
Okay, you know what?
it
I've
works.
refused to give in so far, but you sent me down a rabbit hole of like whether pandas were real or not the other day, and so now I'm like, maybe I'll. I don't know. Maybe I'll try this.
Baking soda water, it's the truth.
So,
There
but
it is.
yeah, overall, I'm good. I feel like I'm in a good place. Things are kind of like starting to level out with finances, things like that. We throwing in the towel with the van. Kind
Yeah.
of like it's just one thing after another, and we or I got in the van the other day, went to drive it around the block, and then it just like while you're driving, you'll just hear something clunk, and it'll just start pulling you completely to the left. Like even to the point where like I went to drive it and I was making a left turn, so I was like, let me just let it go and see what it does, and it put me through like a lot of the turn. It was just pulling left the whole time, so I was like, yeah, this is crazy, but I really don't want to spend another dime on this thing. So
We
Gotta know
bought
when is when.
yeah, we bought a conversion van in hopes to make it make our podcast, like set up the cameras in there and like show up to
Right.
shows and interview bands and stuff. That was the vision, and we got this sweet van, but it's just like Mike said, it's one thing after another.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm
Unfortunately,
pretty
with
sure
those
we've
old
put more
conversion
money
vans.
into just repairing and fixing stuff than I actually spent on the van to start out with.
yeah,
Um, so it's like all right,
Yeah.
and it was, and the weird thing is that it was such a fast decline because when we bought it, it didn't have any issues, no check engine
yeah,
lights, nothing. It was just like it just decided like, oh, I'm old now and I'm just gonna start falling apart. So, I mean, it did. We did a full little weekend warrior run up to, um, we did like what Seattle, Portland, all that. Came back down. Vegas a couple times for some shows. San Diego a bunch of times for shows. And then pretty much after that, after that, you guys' Soma show is when it just started to kind of like, all right,
yeah.
peace out. So
I was I just played in San Diego, and I just dropped the guys off at the airport and stuff. So it was me and my wife just driving the van back from San Diego, and I was on we're on the freeway, and I was like, dude, this thing is like something's not right. And so when I go to get off the freeway, and I'm hitting the brakes, dude, and I'm like all the way down, and nothing's happening.
Oh
And
no.
so thankfully we like slowed down enough that when we got off, like there was nobody in front of us because we would have hit them. And it like I was able to like slow down enough, and then basically just like side street it into like a neighborhood. It was it was it was kind of terrifying.
Yeah, that's so sketchy.
yeah,
But
yeah,
rest in peace, Wheels on Wheels.
it's all right.
Well, well
It's not the full end, but
right, yeah,
we'll, we'll discuss those plans later.
yeah. Well,
Well,
dude,
we want to add some jams to the playlist.
yeah. Give us a chlorine song to throw on our playlist for Spotify.
Yeah, I could do that. Should I
Dark,
text to you or just tell you?
you can just tell us.
Just tell us.
All
Dark
right,
blue
man.
is already on our playlist though, so you gotta shoot
Oh
Okay.
something
yeah,
else.
I threw that on there.
It's gonna be Cruel World then.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
then
one of the more
also,
recent ones.
a jam. It could be anything, any genre, what you're listening to, or just something you want to just throw on the pod. But any song you'd like.
Let's see. I'm gonna give you something good. What have I been listening to?
Yeah,
A
no
whole
genre
bunch of random.
restrictions, no nothing. Just
No, nothing.
what have you been jamming?
Hmm.
While you find that, I'm gonna add that new Silverstein song that came out, Skin and Bones. Pretty solid.
Oh, nice. And I look
All
forward to
right.
looking out.
Here's gonna be my song choice for you guys. It's a band called Pitch Shifter. One word. Song is called Microwaved.
Ooh.
Got it.
It's a fun one. I just found this band from the 90s and it's just a lot of fun and nonsense and fast noise. So,
I love that. I love that album artwork too.
yeah, it's very 90s, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean they're on our playlist a lot, but I feel like we have to. But throwing No Effect song on. I think which
Mm,
one.
that's also a great question.
Uh, let's. You know what? I'm gonna go to my detention jams. Something off Heavy Petting Zoo. Let's do Hot Dog in a Hallway. Yeah.
Hell of a pick. Yeah. You went a little bit older than I was going to suggest. I was going so long. Thanks for all the shoes.
Oh, dude, that's. I love that album. I listen to. I like. It's one of those things where like every now and then I forget how well No Effects did ska.
Oh, yeah. Super well.
Dude, all that angst is such a fucking.
So good.
Love that song.
God, probably the most atrocious album cover of all time. Heavy Petting Zoo.
Dude,
Has to be.
I love.
Fucking
I didn't
rough.
realize until like I feel like it might have been even been this year. I didn't realize there was like alternative artwork for it.
Oh, God. They just get worse and worse.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I was like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
I get why my parents they did this shit.
Yeah.
That makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
dude. Oh, No Effects. Rest in peace, bro. No Effects.
Rest in peace.
Harvey. They'll be back for
Have to
something.
be.
They'll be back
For
for something.
something, for sure.
I hope so. Well, dude, wanna plug your socials?
Sure thing. So, if you were looking for chlorine, you're going to want to look at This Is Chlorine on the Instagram, Chlorine TV on the TikToks. And yeah, we are heading out on tour in a couple days. It's the West Coaster. It's going to be our last run of the year. So, should be a good one. I love touring this time of year. Stoked for all the bands that we're playing with on this run. You can find all the information on our Instagram. I'd say that's usually the best place to find info on us. Yeah, more music to come, more sneak peeks, more videos. Just full speed ahead right now. So, yeah, if you're on the West Coast, come by, check it out.
Yeah, if
Come
you're
on out.
if you're from the IE, October 13th at the Haven in Pomona. So
Definitely
that'll
come
be
through the
that'll
Haven.
be a
Also
sick
playing with some really great bands that night. Thrown Away.
Oh, you guys are playing at the
and
Haven?
Blind. Yeah, and Blind Fortune. Yeah, it's gonna be a killer show.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just a little heads up for you guys when you guys come out, it's still really fucking hot
Is it?
out here right now. So
Yeah.
bring
Is
bring
it?
some shorts.
Is it?
Dude.
It's 69 degrees out here.
Yeah, you're near the beach. Um,
Yeah.
For example, right now it's still 85 degrees, and
Right
it was
now?
like a high of 100 today,
Oh,
and pretty much it's like 90s until Friday, and then or till Saturday, and then it drops down to the 80s.
that's really good to know. That will decide
so-
what I'm going to pack greatly. So
Yeah,
Okay.
so I mean, maybe a light hoodie just for nighttime, but
yeah. We did West Coast and Southwest last year in like mid-September. In Texas in September is no joke.
Yeah.
It is very, very hot.
Yeah.
And the cool part about our van is it has this cool feature that when you're going slightly uphill at all, the AC just decides to turn off.
Sick.
Yeah.
Which is really sick. Still does it. Can't seem to fix that. So,
Dude,
we'll see. Hopefully it's not too hot this tour.
our van does the same thing. It also AC doesn't kick in unless you're like fully moving. And so like I want to
That's
say
rough.
maybe a month ago we played in San Diego. We left on a Friday, and it was 114 degrees, and we jump in the van, we get onto the freeway, and it's just traffic for
Oh no.
for like 2 hours. So for 2 hours we're just
idling
in
in
this
the heat.
oven, just all sweating.
It just felt
Yeah.
like nice warm breath coming out.
Dude. So and we were fully intending like, oh man, like we have the whole band in the van this time around, like everybody's together, let's film some shit, let's get some content. And we were
Right.
just so drenched in sweat that we didn't do anything. Like
You got to play into that.
Yeah.
Make the whole bit about that.
There was like it's just so hot that you didn't even want to like move to like pick up your phone or anything to film. It was just awful.
Have a sweat T-shirt contest with your boys.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Might try that. I'm gonna bring a white shirt just in case we end up in the same predicament.
Dude, do it.
yeah, hopefully it's not that hot, but you know, it'll be a
No,
little toasty when
114
you
is
guys are
crazy.
here, so.
Well, dude, man, thanks for coming on with us. We got
Dude,
to,
thank you guys for having me.
yeah, we got to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Dude, and hopefully next time you guys come down, we can actually do one with you guys in studio, in house. It would be cool to be all face to face and everything.
absolutely. So skip and little jump, and we're right there. So yeah, I will definitely let you guys know before, and we'll work something out.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
sick.
Awesome, brother.
Oh yeah, guys. Well, great talking to you. Great catching up. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. And yeah, if you guys can make it out to the shows, do so.
Yeah, I'm trying to see which one. I know
Yeah,
you're playing
you
Haven.
got some
That's sick.
options.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Well, have a good rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Likewise.
fellas.
Later, y'all.
Peace.
Running back again.